So because a guy can't put a ball inside a fishnet from 18 yards out, that is worse than a guy who is using his platform to feed young starving kids. Racism. Let's talk racism, man. Let's talk racism. So, let me tell a little story. Because I think a lot of people say that Halfhope, you allegedly live in England. If you live in England and you've lived in England for so long, why don't you view yourself as English? Why don't you support the England team? Why aren't you, up and down? Isn't that hypocritical? That you live in England, you are a guy that, uses the England resources and so on, but yet you don't support the English team? That is hypocritical. So I'll tell you a story. Because this goes in line with, this whole racism fiasco. So when I was in Nigeria, I'm living in Nigeria because I grew up, I was born in London, but grew up in Nigeria. So obviously I went to nursery school and primary school in Nigeria. And Nigeria was a country that had so many problems, so many issues. So when I had the chance of moving to England, I couldn't wait. And before coming to England, I was like, man, I'm going to be fully English. I'm going to go behind England. And I can't wait to go to England where, things are a lot more proper and so forth. And you don't have all these kind of complications and the issues and problems that they have in Nigeria, which is a country with so much potential, but a lot of individuals, great individuals, let it down. So I was ready to be fully English. With the English flag, I would really be like, no, yes. So if people were to ask me, yes, I was prepared to say that I am a dual citizen, that I am English and Nigerian, proud dual citizen of England and Nigeria. So coming into England, I went to school and so forth, and you have people who insult the way I talk, insult the way I speak, insult Nigeria, black this, black that, racial insults, and always made me known that, no, you're a black guy, and I'm going to now insult you and abuse you for being black. So remember, this is a bit crazy for a guy who grew up in Nigeria where racism doesn't exist. Like in Nigeria, it's much more about tribalism and so forth, because everybody is black, there's no racism issue. It's more tribal. But when I came to England, this was my first time experiencing racism. I was like, oh, so there's an issue because I'm black? Oh, wow, this is interesting. So when this thing happens, you have a choice. You come to a crossroads. And this is where it comes to a choice that I make and other black people or other Nigerians who came to England had a choice to make. Because you see, you have a crossroads. One choice is, hey man, it's just a few people here and so forth. I still have to assimilate. Because I came here for England and so forth, I'll still ingratiate to English culture. Even if they abuse me and insult how I talk, how I speak, how I look, and where I come from, hey, it doesn't matter. Just ignore that, stoop to conquer and just rise above it. I'm still going to ingratiate myself. That's one angle that I know that a lot of Nigerians in my year chose. There's other angle, another choice was that, oh, maybe I'm just going to double down on my identity that you insult. Maybe I will double down on the way that I speak that you mock. And maybe I will just say that probably I don't actually want to ingratiate with your culture. I'm still going to be here because I need to be here to advance myself as an individual, but I wanted to ingratiate myself and I really wanted to be fully English. But now you're reminding me, I'm telling me that no, because you're black, you'll never be English. That to be truly English, you have to be white. And at every given moment, you always give me reminders that you're black and you're not really one of us. So my response was, oh, if that's the case, then no, then I won't support England. No, I won't. I won't support England. I won't support it, and I won't get behind you or your culture because you've already told me that I'm not welcome. Now, not everybody has this experience, but see, life is about experiences. This was just my experience. My experience in school in England was a lot of racism and a lot of abuse towards me and how I talk. So my experience in school was pretty traumatic, hence why I hate school. Because I still got PTSD of being in school because it was a horrible experience of dealing with the psychological, mental pressures of racism and being uncomfortable being around white English people. Because every time I was around white English people, there was always a racial issue that ended up in fights, arguments, and so forth. So we now come to England and black players. For a black guy, it's your choice. You know, whenever I say like, okay, perfect example, Bukayo Saka. I would have loved him to play for Nigeria. Play for the Super Eagles. I think that he would have been great for the attack. I mean, him mixed with Victor Osimhen and all the guys that we have in the attack, and it's a young crew coming through. I think he would have been beautiful, and he would have really worked very well. But I was like, you know what? His experience is his experience. Maybe he feels more closer to English culture than Nigerian culture, and maybe it's obvious that Saka chose the other route. Now, keep in mind, I have friends, I have cousins, family who chose the other route of ignoring the stuff and just rising above it. I support their decision. These are family members of mine and friends of mine who are fully English and fully ingratiated. I don't agree with their decision, but I fully stand by them, and they're still family to me. But we just have a different point of view. And you can still have a different point of view, but still be family and still be friends. So for Saka, who chose the other route, I'm fully behind you. And that is your prerogative, and I fully support you. But you have to deal with the consequences. And your mind and your brain has to get around the facts of, so I'm representing a country that when I don't perform or do well, they will remind me that I'm black, I'm an outsider, and you're not part of this. See, people say, oh, Yakub. And my view towards Yakub. Of course, when you bring up the name Yakubu, it gives me nightmares because of that mess he made in 2010. But you have to understand that I'm one of one. Okay, so I'm probably the only Nigerian that has this hatred towards Yakubu. But if I was to see Yakubu and so forth, I'd be like, how now? It's you do, now. It's you do, how now? I will greet him. I will greet him because I still view him as Nigerian. Yes, what you did was messed up. missing an open goal at a walkout. Yes, it was messed up. But I will still greet the man. I will still say, you're Nigerian. You're my guy. You're my brother and so forth. So I will still view you as Nigerian. But for Saka, the crazy thing is, so when I mess up, monkey, black this, black that, there's all these black players. What even on that says, okay, why did you even take a knee? The black players messed up. So now you have seen yourselves that you've chosen a country. Now when things go badly, they remind you that no, you're Nigerian, you're black, and you have just sort of tried to co-opt our culture. But now if you do well, oh, you're the best in the world, you're lovely. But when you do badly, no, you're not English. You're not English because you're black. So, because I said to myself that, because me and my brother, we had a long conversation about this whole thing. And my big brother just, he gave me some truth bombs, Because a part of me was like, damn it, why did 3 black players miss? Why? That's so bad. Why so bad? 3 black players, so messed up. But God works in mysterious ways. The world works in mysterious ways. And the universe works in mysterious ways. This was the best thing that could happen. As crazy as that may sound, this is the best thing that could happen. Because what this shows is, imagine if Rashford scored, Sancho scored, Pelosi missed, and England now win on penalties. And Rashford is hailed, everyone is hailed, and everyone is happy. And these same racist people are championing Rashford and Sancho and so forth. That would be a lie. That would be fake. Because what you now see is the reality of England. Because I remember when they went to Matt Hancock and Matt Hancock said that, oh, no, England is not a racist country and so forth. I said, well, wow. But now what you're seeing is what I've always known, is what I've experienced living in England for over 20 years, going to school in the countryside in England, in the heart of England, in the countryside of England, what I've always known. But yeah, of course, at its very core, the country is racist. At the very core, this country is racist. So, because you see, because that's what me and my bro were discussing. Sterling clearly said to Saka that I ain't taking no penalty. Now you can put me 7th or 8th. I'm not amongst the first 5. Because I know that I cannot guarantee you that I will score. Of course I'll try to score, but I know that if I miss, this is going to be a much bigger deal than if any of these white guys miss. Because if this is why guys miss, they'll hate them and so forth. But if I miss, of guys that desperately want the narrative of me missing, oh, I know what it is. And Sterling right now is looking back, looking at Sancho, Rashford, and Saka and be like, yeah, So, because look, this is the key thing to understand. Not all of England is racist. My childhood friend, who I have been friends with since I was 14, the guy is fully white English. Fully white English. So that's one of my childhood friends since I was 14 years old is fully white English. So a lot of English people are cool. I remember people say Brexit. Brexit was a split vote. It was a razor thing. So a lot of the country wanted to stay in Europe and wanted to be part of Europe. But obviously, the very small majority, because it was a close vote, obviously thought that they were greater than Europe. So, but the thing though is that, and that's just what I've always been wrestling, it's a minority. Is it? And my thing is that, guys, there's a pattern. France 98, Euro 2000, so many of these World Cups or European Championships, which are the one set of fans who are always violent? Who are the one set of fans who are always going to other people's countries and messing up the restaurants, messing up the cafes and being violent? So if you now, because look, when France lost the Euros in Euro 2016, of course they were angry. Were they trashing places? Were they fighting people? When Portugal lost that Euros to Greece in Portugal, of course they were angry. Were they fighting people, trashing places, attacking people? But why is it in England? You've lost these Euros and you're now attacking people. You're attacking Italians, you're attacking black people, you're attacking the Asians, you're trashing places, you're trashing stadiums. I mean, now do you now see why people see? Because maybe that's right, the world works in mysterious ways. Maybe the football gods were like, no, we're never giving you a trophy. We're never giving you a trophy because a strong section of your community and country are morons. And the good people of you, the people who aren't morons, you need to check these dudes. Because if you don't check these dudes, the football gods ain't never giving you a trophy. Because this will hurt. They will hurt. So, you see, and England have to put things into perspective here. Do you realize England have only won one major trophy in entire history? Do you realize, people say Southgate this, Southgate that, is messed up. Do you realize that Southgate led England to their second ever final in their entire history? That is European champions and World Cup combined. So if England put their arrogance to one section, which I know is very difficult because the English people's, their strength is their common sense. Their strength is their common sense. There's no people who are more sensible than English people. They have amazing common sense and they punch above their weights. But England's people, their greatest weakness is their arrogance. And their arrogance to believe that you are on the same level as an Italy, a Germany, a France based in football. You lost to not only the best team at the Euros, but a country that has a football heritage. This is a country that have won 4 World Cups. Had already won a Euro before this and have been to several Euros finals and several World Cup finals. This is your second ever final in your history. And you've only won one major trophy. And that was on home soil. You see, I always give people an extra dub if you can win a trophy, not on home soil. Because people say, okay, home soil, they get an advantage. So that's why France, that's World Cup 2018, that's a real one. Argentina, that World Cup in 86, that's a real one. Portugal, that's Euros in France, that's a real one. So you have no football history. So this is a success. You should be proud of the team. You should be happy with the team because, let's keep it real, if England had beaten Italy on penalties, that would have been theft. You'd have deserved on top, but let's keep it real. Based on how that match went and how the gulf in class between Italy and England, if England won on penalties, that would have been theft. It would have been theft because it's like, no, you didn't deserve to win because Italy, over those 2 hours being played, showed they were a far superior side to you and they deserved to win. So, and sorry, I almost forgot my perfect point. Rashford. I am convinced that there is nobody on this planet called Earth that is more passionate or loves football more than me. No one does. I'm sorry. There's nobody that loves football. You may love it as much as me. There's nobody that loves football more than me. No, nobody. So for the guys that are insulting Rashford, and shout out to my main man Sheriff, who sent me a message of this Tory MP who said that if Rashford just played less politics and instead focused on his craft, he may have scored that penalty. I said, So let me get this straight. You're saying that it is more important that a player, that a guy can't put a ball inside a fishnet from 18 yards away. I don't give a damn about Euro Championships or Wembley. I don't give a damn about that crap. I'm talking real life now. So because a guy can't put a ball inside a fishnet from 18 yards out, that is worse than a guy who is using his platform to feed young starving kids. And young starving kids is playing politics, is being leftist. So, see, I want to sit people down and just say, wait a minute. So you're saying that Rashford missing that penalty is a lot worse than him using his platform to help starving kids. And there are some people in England who say, yes, it's worse. These are people who, they are mentally damaged. They have psychiatric problems and they need help. Like, they need mental help. Because for you to say that, there is obviously, you're either dropped as a baby, there was something wrong with the umbilical cord or something, maybe the umbilical cord messed with your brain, or you have to have brain damage. You have to. You have to suffer from brain damage. So that's my thinking is, and guys, digest all the stuff that I've said now, just that I've really made it clear. But the more and more I think about it, I say, oh my God, it was the perfect way for England to lose. It was the perfect way for them to lose. That the three black players missing, them receiving that racial abuse, and now the prince, the prime minister, and all these people now, the FA now have to make these statements. And I say, oh, this is why these guys take that knee. Because they take the knee because of, no, this is what they're fighting against. That there is obviously a racial problem. And now this is the scariest truth. And this is what I've been saying for a long time. Anybody listens, this is the scariest truth. Scariest truth is, this racial fight is a fight you can never win. That's the key thing. Now, it's a fight you should always have because you should always combat it. But keep in mind, you can never win it. We will never have a world in which, there is no racism and people will never have racist views towards black people. That will never happen. Just keep in mind that you can win the battles. That's kidding. You can win the battles. You can win the racial battles. You will never win the war because it is just a cancer and a disease of humanity that we'll always have. But yeah. Fair enough. Like the vid, subscribe, tell me your thoughts, comments below. One love. Become a Patreon member. Get access to exclusive videos and also get access to the podcast to the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfwop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.